NASCAR heads to North Wilkesboro this weekend to celebrate All-Star Weekend. Trucks and Cars Tour will be joining them, and we'll talk about schedule, news, and notes, as well as discuss what is going to be on my All-Star menu. That and more next on Racin-n-Braisin. Well, hi folks, welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ. It is Thursday night, and yes, it is a preview edition of what is coming up this weekend from North Wilkesboro. As I said, it is All-Star Weekend, so we've got a bit of an interesting format to discuss this evening. I'll tell you about the schedule, I'll tell you about that format, and I'll also tell you about a couple of notes to just keep in mind, as well as touch on the big news of the day. But before we get into that, I do want to share with you this right here. Yes, I had special guests this week. Mom and Dad came by and visited my new pad and came to check on me, make sure I'm doing okay, hand off a couple of things on their grand tour across the pond. I wish them the best of luck, and I'm sure you guys do too. Please leave a comment below wishing them all good luck on their next great adventure. But while Mom was here, she made sure to point out the scoreboard frequently and remind me how nice it is to see her name in the lead. So fun to have them here this week, and definitely enjoyed their company. And I know they enjoyed mine as well. We had a good time tooling around in Western North Carolina for a couple of days. Okay, so let's dive into some NASCAR talk. Let's get the big news of the day out of the way real quick here. We all woke up today to the huge news that the number 17 team has been handed an L1 penalty by NASCAR, costing 60 drivers and owners points, as well as $75,000, and the suspension of the crew chief for the next 2 weeks. This weekend at North Wilkesboro, as well as next weekend at the 600. So that's massive, but what makes it tremendous, huge, is that the points hit that he is taking him from 12th down to 24th. So that's going to put him in the hornet's nest, and the 17 team is going to have some big moves throughout the rest of the season to work their way out of that deficit. And it just seems like RFK Racing is constantly getting caught with something. They're pushing the limit and getting caught, or in the case of the 16, just flat out struggling. So RFK in the news yet again for a penalty. Okay, so let's talk schedule. Cars Tour is on track this weekend. They're actually on track right now, getting their qualifying out of the way, and Harvick and Junior in the booths. They are going to be on the main stage Saturday night on FS1. Let's talk about what is going on for NASCAR. Truck Series will be there, as well as the Cup Series. Friday afternoon at 4:30, Cup Series will get their practice on, and that will be on FS2, followed by Cup qualifying at 6 p.m., which will include the Pit Road Challenge, and that will be on FS1. We'll talk about the format here in a second and get all of that lumped together today. Kicks off early with trucks practice and qualifying at 9:30 on FS2, followed by the truck race at 1:30 in the afternoon on FS1. That's going to be 250 laps. That is a regular points paying race for them, not All-Star related. So just a points race. Of note, in that race, Kyle Busch will be there in the 07 for Spire Motorsports, as well as Sammy Smith in the number 7 for Spire Motorsports. And then that leaves evening activity to get kicked off with heat races at 5 p.m. for the Cup Series All-Star Race. That will be on FS2. Again, we'll talk about format here in a moment. Okay, Sunday is the big All-Star event. Starts off with the Open, basically last chance qualifier on FS1 at 5 p.m. and that's 100 laps, followed by the All-Star main event, which will be at 8 o'clock on FS1, and that will be 250 laps. So let's talk about the format for the weekend. First, qualifying on Friday night. Qualifying is going to consist of 3 laps, and lap number 2 will have a pit road challenge to it, which will include driving at pit road speed, four tire stop, as well as emptying the entire can and getting off the pit road under pit road speed, and then completing the third lap, and that will be the qualifying effort. The fastest pit crew will win $100,000 as well as the #1 pit selection for the weekend. That leads us now to the heat races, which will be Saturday night. There will be 2 heat races, both 75 laps. All of their laps will count. If there is an overtime necessary, only one will be allowed, and they will have a competition caution in each of those around lap 30. Heat number 1 will determine the inside row, and heat number 2 will determine the outside row, and that will all lead to the Open, which will be on Sunday at 5. The Open will consist of 100 laps. All of those laps are going to count. Again, 1 overtime if needed, and a competition caution in this one around lap 50. The top 2 finishers will advance to the All-Star Main, and a fan-voted driver will also advance. So three drivers from the Open will advance to the Main. Now the Main is at 8 o'clock FS1, 250 laps. A competition caution will be thrown right around lap 100. And then there will also be a new gimmick this year, a promoter's caution that will be eligible to be thrown by the promoter, Marcus Smith, at anywhere between lap 100 and lap 220. Now there's some caveat about if it's not thrown by 200 to 220, if there's a natural caution in there, something about the promoter's caution goes away. I'm not sure. It's a gimmick. It's not necessary. But, I mean, I guess it's going to be a way to, keep some attention somehow. I don't know. This All-Star stuff has just kind of lost its luster. I'm not a fan of it anymore. Back when I was at Charlotte, and it was, that 2-week span where, we were highlighting NASCAR and its home base in Charlotte, I was more excited about it back in those days. Now that they've started moving it around to different places, it's just kind of lost its luster. Every time we do this weekend, there's a new gimmick or a new change that we all have to figure out, and it's confusing, and nobody really knows how things are going to work. I think it was floated on the Harvick podcast where he was interviewing Dale Jr. to just kind of get rid of the All-Star race, make North Wilkesboro a regular points-paying race, get all 38, 40 cars out there, and turn it into a short track race, which would be great, except this car sucks on short tracks, so that doesn't really work. And then fold the All-Star format in with the Clash somehow. Interesting suggestion. I'd be open to it. I don't think we need the All-Star race anymore. Let me know what you guys think down below. Okay, so that's the schedule. Just a couple of notes about the All-Star race itself. First off, if you didn't hear this earlier this week, Harrison Burton is going to be in the All-Star race. He qualifies on it based on his win in Daytona last summer. And he got himself a ride in the number 51, which is a Rick Ware Racing car. So this will be the first time Rick Ware Racing is in the All-Star event. The All-Star winner has also been the champ in the last 3 of 5 years. And Hendrick and Penske have won the last 5 All-Star races. If you remember, All-Star race last year was absolutely dominated by Joey Logano, leading the vast majority of the laps and just kind of putting on a whooping on the rest of the field. And then we saw, after the race, a bit of a whooping attempt to go down between Ricky Stenhouse and Kyle Busch, with good old Bob Pockras being right in the middle of it with a very great photo that came from that. So, maybe tempers flare again this year. We'll see. Okay, let's talk about what is on my menu this weekend before we get too long here tonight. I am doing an all-star brunch themed menu because if you're able to do brunch all day long, then you are doing brunch right. And if you guys remember from Monday's video when I was talking about my mistake with the pork and the barbecue, I also mentioned that I had a bit of a win in the kitchen last weekend. And that was playing with a recipe that I found a couple weeks back for peanut butter bread, which is a Depression-era staple that was around because people didn't have much and they were just trying to stretch everything that they had. The recipe that I started with was just 5 ingredients and really simple. Didn't really call for much work. You just kind of stirred everything together, put it in a loaf pan, and let it cook. Really delicious, great flavor to it, just really dense. And last weekend I started messing around with the recipe, adjusting things, adding things, swapping things out. And I came up with a beautifully light and airy and fully aromatic and wonderfully rich tasting, yet nice and melty in your mouth peanut butter bread. So I have saved several pieces of that loaf, and I am going to turn that into an all-star French toast. I'm going to pair that with a compote. Let's see what looks good in the produce aisle for fruit this weekend, and we'll make a compote with that. And I'll probably pair that with some candied bacon, because nothing says all-star like candied bacon. And I will be sure to share with you guys how I am putting all of that together this weekend. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are doing for the All-Star Weekend for your menu. Until Sunday, guys, I will let you all go for the evening. I hope you all have had a great week and enjoy the weekend ahead. I will talk to you all Sunday morning with some fun picks for the day, since the points will not matter in the regular season competition, and also a couple of news and notes and analysis from what we've seen through the weekend to date. Until Sunday, guys, have a great one, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks again.